Hello dears, welcome for this week's video. Today I would like to touch another topic. You may have heard in the web browsing that our fantastic NUX MG-30 has now available another firmware update with great news that is version 5.0.1. But as this is not backward compatible with the previous version, a part of version 4.0.3 that you may find still on the website of the manufacturer, but the update process is not so straightforward. It requires to be careful and make some different activities. So I'm going to show you step by step how to do it correctly without using your presets and having as less troubles as you can. So follow me after the intro. Here we go for the update of the firmware of our NUX MG-30. You may see that I have it here. I'm going to show you live what is happening. So let's go very quickly. You will need some softwares that you will find on this website. So make sure that you are looking at it, www.nuxaudio.com/support the .html. Here you will find all the support material provided by NUX for their devices. You have to scroll down or you can press firmware and software here in this point and you will be brought to the firmware download. There are tools and other things. You have to find the section related to MG-30, so scroll down this one under the multi-effects section, okay, and you will see that you have the firmware version 5 and also version 4, both for macOS and for Windows. So you can install it from a PC, from a Windows PC, or from your Mac. I have a Mac, I will use that one to show you how to do it. Also below that, below the firmware, and it's important, notice that you find both versions. The last edition of version 4, that is 4.0.3, and the new version 5, 5.0.1. This is very important because if you are coming from a previous version of the firmware, you will need to go to make it in different steps and install before the version 4 and then the version 5. Because what you will see is that your presets can only be imported into version 5 if they have been exported by version 4. If you have an exporting a backup from a previous version, they will not be compatible and you risk to lose them all. So it's important to do this kind of backup. I'm going to show you how. Now that you also need to download the correct QuickTone software for connecting to your computer. And again, you will find both version for firmware 4 and firmware 5, both for Windows and macOS. Being said this, so you need to download them. So very quickly, just make sure that you press the download to have saved them wherever you want. For example, for me, I will download the firmware version 5 and for macOS. I will save it in a folder. I have already saved it in a folder, so you don't really need to follow this step. And also, just make sure that you download both the firmware and the QuickTone software because we will need both. By the way, if you don't really need the new functionalities available in version 5 and you don't want to take risk, I have to tell you that version 5 in any case has some small issues. I don't know if I need to define them bugs, but there are some small issues that are not present in version 4. So if you want to stay on the safe side, you can keep the version 4. But version 5 introduced a lot of great functionalities. You may find some videos, one in this channel again also, but also in other YouTube videos, other contents are gonna show you the news that are made available from this version. It's incredible, by the way, that NUX made available an update after so much time because this product has been released in the market 3 years ago. So it's incredible, this kind of support. Great news. My compliments to the company. In any case, download the software, make sure that it is available. And next step, we will need to have, it's important to backup your presets. We are gonna doing it turning on our MG-30, so I'm turning it on. This way we can connect it to the computer. In the meantime, I'm launching QuickTone for that. You may see that I have currently installed version 4.0.3. An important, very important warning. Make sure to install this one if you have a previous version, because as I said before, presets must be exported from this one to be compatible with the version 5. So if you are upgrading to version 5, you need to export from this one. So it's very simple. Version 4 is compatible backward to any version. So if you have presets coming from version 2.3 or something like that, just make sure that you export them, you save them, install version 4, import them in version 4, re-export them in the format used by version 4, and then it will be possible to export them into version 5. How to export them all together? You can export them by one, but it's very easy. You need to do it on a computer, of course. Do not use ghost image that is available on the machine. This is definitely not compatible because it's a snapshot of the memory of the system, of the machine, and that is completely different in version 5. They are not absolutely compatible. So if you are making a ghost image and you believe you can then import it back in version 5, you are gonna mess everything up. You will have a lot of troubles, nothing is gonna work, so you're warned. You need to export to a computer with the official software and then re-import the same way. I'm gonna do it. You need to press the right button, that is this one, export, in the top right corner, so press it. You will find the list of presets. I prefer to do it all in a block, because if you want to find again exactly the picture of your system, you need to do it like this. So what you're gonna do is press select all. At this point, you press again the button on the top for the exportation, this one, and you will be prompted on where to save. I'm gonna do it like this. If you press, in this case, open, if you have Windows, it will just say save. This one will export all your presets in a single file. That is this one, MG-30. Sorry, I'm not. Okay, sorry. This one, that is MG-30 all patch, MG-30 patch. This file contains, in fact, you see that it is much bigger than a usual preset. It's 1.2 megabytes instead of 10 kilobytes. This contains all your presets. This is probably the easiest way to export and re-import the software. By the way, I would like to let you see that I have some custom presets, for example, this one, Money for Nothing, White Snakes, Pink Floyd, this one. The others are the factory ones, so they make not a great difference. But here on user section, I have these ones. So you will see I exported because I want to save these ones as well. Okay, so doing if you have done the exportation, you are ready to go to make the upgrade of the firmware. So I'm gonna close QuickTone for this. You will need to go in the folder where you downloaded the software. I've downloaded it here, firmware version 5.0.1 final. You see that I have downloaded everything, so both the firmware and QuickTone for Mac and Windows, because I want to make sure I have a backup for everything. What I'm gonna do is, of course, double click on the firmware for macOS. This creates a folder. Inside the folder, you will find the device updater, that is the software used for updating the firmware, and the firmware itself, that is the .bin file you will find. Also, I have the QuickTone software for macOS. I'm unpacking it as well, but I will need it after the upgrade. It's important to keep in mind, this version of QuickTone is only compatible with version 5 of the firmware, is not guaranteed backward compatibility. It should, but it seems that there are some troubles in that. Version provided in the website, we have seen it a moment ago, so just make sure to look again here. This one, I mean. For version 4 of the firmware, QuickTone for firmware version 4 is only compatible with version 4 and previous ones, it seems, and not with version 5. So if you are upgrading, you will need also to replace your QuickTone software. You have seen that I've been using the QuickTone software for version 4 because I have version 4 firmware at the moment. Now we are gonna make the upgrade. To make the upgrade is very simple. You just need to go in the folder we created, launch the device updater. It's the MG file, so it asks for installation. So I'm gonna install it. I'm replacing it because I have it already installed. Then I can launch it. That is NUX device updater, this one. Okay, warning because it has been installed, and there is this small window that guides you. It tells you to turn on the device in firmware update mode. How is it done? I'm gonna show you directly. You need to turn it off, keep up and down both pressed, sorry, I'm down, and turn it on, and you will see that the screen shows you device firmware update. This is the correct modality. You see that it has been detected, in fact, by the system. Okay, so the updater have find it. Then you need to press select file to choose the firmware. Make sure that you select the right one. So for the moment, for example, I am here, firmware not 403 but 501 final. I'm going in the folder and I have to select the bin file. You see that in Mac, but also in Windows, you have this kind of functionality. All the software, all the files that are not compatible are grayed out, so it's quite easy to tell what is the right one to select. It's the .bin file to select. You select it, and we'll tell you I'm gonna upgrade to version 5.0.1, and this will be the news. That's what you are gonna find from this. And then you need to start the update. Okay, I'm launching it, and you will see that there is a progress bar on the machine, and also the system is telling you upgrading, please wait. Now I'm taking a break in the recording because this process is very long. It takes more than 20 minutes according to my experience, so don't be afraid. One important warning I would like to leave you, it's make sure that you are not doing this when there is a risk for a power interruption or using a damaged cable or something like that, or a wrong connection with the computer. This operation, the firmware upgrade, is in any case quite risky. NUX made some copies inside the machine, so it should not be easy to break the device, but it is still possible. If something goes really wrong, like for example a storm, during a storm you have a power outage, it is interrupting in a specific point, it can happen that your machine is not usable anymore. It will become just a piece of stone that you can use to keep your sheets on your desktop. So make sure that you are doing this carefully, when you have some time to dedicate to this, when you can avoid other operation on your computer. Don't do like me, that I'm doing it while recording, and when there are with correct cables, good connection, no risk to get tripped in the cables and break them or disconnect them. It's important because this is the only, in my opinion, the only very risky activity that you are doing on your machine. When it's finished, and we are good. So now I'm taking a break and returning to you when the upgrade has reached 100%. You see that 2 minutes has passed and we are still at 7%. Taking a break. After 7 minutes and a half, we are at 27%, so it will take some time. Another time warp. 60 minutes, 63%. In the meantime, the progress bar is going on also on the updater. Let's do the time warp again. And Welcome back. We are close to 23 minutes and at 97%. So just a little more patience for the end. The progress bar is very close to the to the final version, 98. So just a few seconds again. But as I said before, it takes more than 20 minutes, close to 25. So my suggestion is be patient. Normally it is quite progressive, so it is going on in a regular way. So the time is also, you can also evaluate how you should take. Okay, it's just finished, and you see that it writes complete also on the screen. And the firmware again say device successfully updated. You can close this software. It's written here, so you can close it. Turn off the device, and when you are gonna turn it on again, you will see that now it says, I don't know if it is readable, version 5.0.1. Of course, there are some other activities that need to be done because we need, of course, to install the new QuickTone because the old one is not compatible anymore to this version of the firmware. So it is important for us to install the new upgrade. So I'm updating QuickTone. So going back to the version, well, this one where I had the software. This one is the version of QuickTone I'm showing you at the beginning. So let's double click so that it is connected. Now I can install it. It will ask me to replace the old version, and of course I'm doing it. So let's dismount this one. Oh, sorry. Yes, eject. And we are done. Now I have the new version. In the meantime, we may have seen on the screen that this machine is stuck on the boot. This can happen, and this is the reason why it is important to follow all the steps. It is required to make a factory reset. So how are you doing it? You need to turn off the device, keep these two, the second and third button pressed together, and turn it back on. Okay, now it will boot in order to make it possible to do a factory reset. You see that it is possible to select the system inspection, ghost restore, and so on. I'm selecting factory reset, and pressing the save button, it is taking it. Now it is resetting all the patches because I had some custom patches as you have seen, and these are tampering the boot up. It's mandatory to do this factory reset. If you are not doing it, you are gonna experience this kind of freeze at the boot up. So, as I said, in any case, firmware update is always risky. The machine is still working, so I'm happy because in any case I can roll back to the previous version. It is something that you can do, but normally the factory reset will prevent any trouble. Now I'm turning off and back on. I'm expecting now that it will boot up without freezing as it did before. So let's wait just a few seconds, and you see, here you are. Now it's working, and you have seen, you have live that it had a freeze when starting. So important, upgrade, then factory reset. If you're turning like that, sometimes it works. I made this update 7 times before making this video, but in any case, it is strongly suggested to do it. It will flash all your presets. Of course, you will use them. As I said, they are not compatible, so they were not working. You need to re-import them from the backup we have done before. Another mandatory step that I strongly suggest, because a lot of people has experienced troubles if not doing it, is sorry, not re-import, is calibrating the expression pedal. You can do it from the system version. So you need to press the global. So let me check if I can. Okay, this way I can show you bigger this one. So I am in global setting. If you are on the, you just need to keep pressed the button. Then you see that there are one option is expression setup. Select it. Now it is, you can have the expression pedal independent from the patch or not, so you can calibrate it differently for different possibility. Or, well, you can make it independent because this way you can limit, instead of using it from 0 to 100%, you can use it in a different range for different presets. Can happen. That can be, for example, if you're using to set the distortion and you want to stop at a certain level and have a minimum, you can do it. That's up to you. Or for using it for the wah pedal. That's not important. You see that if I press Control, I can calibrate. So it's important to press that one, Control, this button. This way we can calibrate. It tells me set pedal to minimum. So I'm putting it to minimum and pressing again Control. Then I'm setting it to maximum and pressing again Control. Okay, then I need to press hard for the switch of modality. And this is how I would like it to react. You see that this bar is showing you the strength you have been pushing it. When you're done, press save. And now it should work as expected. This is absolutely necessary, so you need to do it if you don't want to experience particular issues. Now we are ready to re-import the presets from the system. Of course, to do that, we need to launch the QuickTone software. So, okay, it will tell me again, sorry, you can see that. It's telling me again that this is a software downloaded from internet because we upgraded to the new version. Again, don't make confusion. If it is not working, make sure that you're using the right one. Now the software is starting, it has detected the machine, and here we are. You see that now here, you may remember that with the house icon, I can select the preset factor, the options with the user, my own presets. You see that all my customs has gone because we made a factory reset. So I need to import with the button. So let me move this away from the screen this way. This with the button from importing, this one, this icon that you can see. Okay, I hope you can see it. So I'm pressing it, and now here is the same folder where I downloaded. You need to make sure where you save them. You may remember that the file to use is this one, MG-30, old patch, and so on. This one is important. It's different because it contains all the presets I have been exporting from version 4.0.3. All the other versions are not gonna work. You will experience a lot of troubles with the preset, and you can recreate that freezing at the boot of the machine. So make sure to use only something exported with version 4.0.3. So I'm selecting this one, pressing open. It will import everything, so all the presets from 1 to 128, including the 3 scenes for each preset. So if you have also custom scenes, you are gonna re-import also this one in this way. So let's wait for for some time so that it can import back what was missing. You see that it's scrolling, so you have also an idea of what is happening. There is a progress bar that shows you how it is going. We are halfway through. Excuse me. Excuse me. By the way, also you can see the machine is scrolling the number of presets because it's gonna go all from all of this. Okay, while it is downloading, because by the way we have finished, so this is close to the end of this video. We don't need so much more. Well, there is freezing. What happened? It stopped. So maybe we need to start again. Okay. Let's try again. Okay, it can happen. It's not so straightforward. Sometimes it takes some patience to do that. Well, I would like to show you when it ends, in case I'm gonna stop the movie again. I don't want to make you wait for so long, but it seems to be quite fast. Well, make sure again, some warnings on all these phases, all these operations. Make sure you're using a good cable for the connection between the machine, between the NUX MG-30 and your computer. Especially if you are using, like myself, for example, for my Mac that has only USB-C port. If you are using a cable that has USB-C on both sides, be really careful because sometimes these can produce troubles. They are not all fully compatible and sometimes they are not working. Personally, when I am updating the firmware, I'm using a USB on the go cable, so I prefer to have a USB A to USB C cable to connect the machine, because this way it is clear that the computer is driving the connection. It's the master in this connection. If you are using an equal cable with the USB-C on both sides, many people experience trouble. Sometimes switching the two ports, the two plugs between the machine and the PC is making it work, but it is risky. I would suggest to use this kind of connection, but of course it's up to you. As you may have seen, in the meantime, it has finished importing, and uh, and all the presets, including the custom ones that I had at the beginning, if you want to go back, are still there. So we have re-imported all these ones. Uh, okay, it's not perfect, I have to tell you. Some people experienced, for example, master level of the amplifier that reached zero or something like that. It didn't happen to me this time. Another time, as I said, I upgraded 5 times, 7 times, sorry, for with this method, and no trouble. But the mandatory steps must be followed carefully. Export only from firmware version 4.0.3 on your computer. No ghost images or something like that. Make sure you save in a safe place. Use the correct version of QuickTime or Quick Tone software and the firmware. Upgrade and then factory reset. Calibrate your pedal. Re-import. If you're doing it like this, and I'm not telling you something new, it is exactly what is written within the documentation provided by the manufacturer, by NUX, in the firmware. In particular, if you go in the firmware you downloaded, that I should have still here. Oh, sorry, not here. Well, not important. Let me check. Oh my God, I'm not finding it anymore. Okay, give me a second. So go, recent folders, this one. When you unpack your firmware, there is also in the same page, there is the firmware update guide. Make sure that you read it because it shows you step by step, nothing different from what I've been showing you here, and also some additional warnings that I haven't mentioned. So it's mandatory to read this and to follow this. If you are experiencing trouble, before anything else, make sure that you follow this step by step, because I've seen a lot of people complaining on firmware, on Facebook groups or in other sources online about damages with the presets. Nothing is working. It's a completely mess. Make sure that you are not at fault. Follow this step by step. It is a huge improvement, much larger than you can imagine. In particular, because the structure of the memory inside the machine has been completely re-engineered for this in this firmware. That is why it's not backward compatible with any version apart the last 4.0.3, and it's not possible to make it. It's incredible that it's working, honestly, because the first notice, in the first news that the manufacturer released with the beta version, they said that it was completely not backward compatible, so you could upgrade but only use new presets. Your old presets were all lost. You needed to recreate them from scratch on the machine. Then they were able to make it compatible to version 4.0.3. In my opinion, it's something really incredible. Probably they created a sort of translator inside the QuickTone software. That's what I'm expecting, because the structure of memory is completely different. And again, my huge compliments to NUX, because it is incredible that the manufacturer is providing a firmware update so important with so many additional functionalities after 3 years from the release, when the price of the machine, the market price, is going down. So it's not more interesting for the manufacturer for cash flow. So they are not doing it for sales, because this is not going to increase the sales. The sales are stagnating since the last year. I purchased the machine used at half the price, half the street price. So, and it is brand new, I would say. So it is something incredible. They give us a great support. So again, my greatest applause to NUX, because I have to be honest, I've never seen this in my life. Such a huge support on an inexpensive machine, because this one is really a fantastic modeler. I like it a lot. I love it, but it is inexpensive compared to a Fractal or other digital machine known in the market. So it can be considered not exactly an entry level, but a low budget machine. It is very good with the sounds, and many people said that it has also improved with the new firmware. But in particular, we have new functionality really welcome, especially for live use. But for that, I'm sending you to other videos you will find on YouTube, including on this very channel. In the meantime, I'm saying goodbye to you and thanking you for watching this content. Please give your comments below, evaluate subscribing to the channel if you like my contents and you want to support me. In the meantime, cheerio!